Bank account looking like yikes.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. With that, we head up to Jacksonville for the Jags home opener. To bring it to you, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in off a loss in the season opener, which doubled as the home opener.
And when you lose that way, at home, season opener, it almost feels like two losses. So it's a big fight to get yourselves ready to go to play the next week.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see two road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You've got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Left side complete, Safarian Jenkins. He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And they get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the play.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
To throw is Bortles. Being chased out left. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
Even though it's the opening drive of the game, he wasn't shy about taking off and running with the football. even knowing the defense is definitely going to take their shots at him, and that's exactly what they did. He better learn to slide, otherwise he won't be around to finish this one.
The Jags with their first opportunity in the red zone. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9.
Green 80. Green 80.
Working from the gun, it's Bortles. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jags have taken the early lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it culminates in a Jags touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
And it'll be interesting to see pretty early in this one exactly where his head is, because the best quarterbacks shake off performances like he had last week. Way too many interceptions. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. Team lost the game. Let's see if he can bounce back and get things going in the right direction.
He'll be trying to forget those 3 picks, as you noted. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. Here's the offense, and if you're the defense, Charles, you really have to focus on that guy that's highlighted on the screen.
You're talking about pure speed. T.Y. Hilton can get down the middle of the field and really stretch a defense.
Wrong.
To throw on 2nd down is Locke. Oh, some strong running. Got an open man. It's a noon one. The passing game for the Colts finding its stride, another 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end,
Still
holding.
1st down.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Here's Locke. Ebron caught left side. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. The numbers from last week's game for Ebron. 4 catches, 77 yards.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. On the defensive side of the football, the starting lineup now for Jacksonville. They enter play here, number 11, just outside the top 10 in the league in stopping the run.
And being able to set the tone early in this game, because when you get down to it, it's that sign that we saw in their football facility when we visited with them. The one that said no explosives, no big plays, no chunk plays. That's what they've got to take care of.
Third and 2, Luck. And he's got his man Hilton. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Luck now to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Quincy Enunwa, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game.
I do believe we came here to see a game, didn't we? And it looks like he's running what we call routes versus air. You just go out there with your offensive unit and throw the football with no defense. He's 5 for 5 on the opening drive.
He was on his game there for drive number 1, but my only thing is now he can't go any higher than that. He was so perfect. Can he do it again later?
Yeah, all he cares about right now is making it 10 for 10, 15 for 15.
Keeping that going.
And he feels like he can get it done.
Extra point splits the uprights, and we are tied at 7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the result for the Colts is a touchdown. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And that last touchdown drive they had very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, they imposed their will on that last drive. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll run with Mack. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out. Now Luck. And this is going to be incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes Blake Bortles now to lead his offense back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Well, let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now a run. This is Bilal Powell. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. Safarian Jenkins has it. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. A really nice catch, but bottom line, that should have gone for more yardage.
Give him a pass in the flat that allows him to get upfield. There's plenty of distance between him and all the defenders. Actually cost himself some yardage there. Yeah, they got the completion, but it could have been so much more.
So on fourth down, here's Brad Nortman on to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Taken from just outside the 30.
Whoosh.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yeah,
run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now Love. And incomplete on the deep ball.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A shotgun snap for Love. The Noodles got it. Complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there, a 22. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So 2nd and inches after that 1st down completion went just shy of the marker. Now a carry from Mack. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll go on the ground. And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now it's Love. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Colts add on to their lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And he's got room. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
Set. 380.
On play action, it's Bortles. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And on 3rd down, the Colts have added an extra defensive back.
Flooding the passing lanes.
Set. 380.
Shotgun now for Bortles. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Jabal Sheard in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Here's Brad Nordman now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is brought in at the 21. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st and 10, Locke. And he finds the man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. Luck now, 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Back to throw, Luck. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll.
Now Mack. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on 1st down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here. In this situation, they stayed with their roots, stayed with running.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control. This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card.
Let's go, let's go. Go, go.
Following the fumble recovery, here's Luck. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. That's 3 touchdown passes now for Andrew Luck. And the Colts are able to grow their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now the try here for the point after. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Incomplete over the middle. Safarian Jenkins. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. And Cook has it left side. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On first down, Bortles. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does, so a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Green 80.
Again, they'll throw with Bortles. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. He was trying for his running back, Bilal Powell, and it's 3rd and short. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Green 80. Green 80.
Now Bortles again. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will cut the lead down to 13. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Colts on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Luck. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Travis Carey. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Anunwa, the intended target. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Set. Green 80.
Bortles going to run the draw with Fournette. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Green 80. Green 80.
From the gun on 3rd down, Bortles. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the ball is going to wind up out of bounds, so they will lose yardage, but they'll keep the football.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. On 2nd and 10, Luck. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Carry on the return. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way,
The punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
Green 80. Green 80.
A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
They go play action here on first down. Left side complete. Safarian Jenkins. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And that's incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook. 3rd down here.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Green 80.
Again, it's Bortles. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Bortles to Cole for the Jacksonville first.
When the hitch route is run really well, that jab step off the line of scrimmage by the receiver, which is designed to back up the defender and give him a little bit of space, all you want there, get that space, catch the football, and then make a move and pick up extra yardage. And that's exactly what he got done there.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Green 80. Green 80. Green is it.
Bortles to throw on 2nd down. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Green 80. Green 80.
On 3rd and long, it's Bortles. Completes it to Lee. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down when you want 3, get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. A solid first half for him, and so far a good start to the second half.
And I'm going to try not to go overboard with praise here, but I can't help it. He is playing so well. Really accurate with the ball, finding guys open downfield, and finding the end zone 3 times. That'll help offset the 1 interception.
Absolutely. Just that 1 pick with the 3 touchdowns so far. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On second down, here's Locke. Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him? Double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Here's Matt. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Right back to him on first down. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
To throw on second down is Locke. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Looking for the end zone. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Eric Ebron, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Colts add on to their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up. 4
touchdown passes. Carving them up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Throwing is Bortles. Wide open receiver complete. Past the 20. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marquise Lee, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Jaguars make some inroads here on that deficit. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now for the point after. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Over the middle, it's caught by Rodgers. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 26 yards. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
And they're enjoying a fourth-quarter advantage. Luck now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Luck. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Here's the backup, Jacoby Brissett. Over the middle, complete. It's Rodgers. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Here we go. What?
Out of the gun, Brissett. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Green 80. Green 80.
Shotgun now for Bortles. Safarian Jenkins has it. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone.
Green 80. Green 80.
Bortles now on 1st down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Bortles. Incomplete over the middle. Safarian Jenkins. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have the 1st down before he's tackled at the 12. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the 1st down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Fournette. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, here's Bortles. And he is caught at the 7-yard line. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he's got it! And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Austin Safarian Jenkins with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Jaguars are back within a score.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that in.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough 1st downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Hey, here we go. What?
And they'll run it here. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Second down, Brissett. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go. Grand 38. Grand 38. Shake it off me. Ohio.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down, but they are in field goal range already. To throw is Brissett. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Getting set to go again, Blake Bortles marches back onto the field with his offense. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll look to throw. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Back to throw. A throw left side complete to his receiver Westbrook. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. The Jags picking up the 1st down there, a gain of 12. He'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Now the Jags are moving quickly in the hurry-up. Back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cole. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clock running as Bortles hurries to try to get his guys set. He's back to throw. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22.
The previous play is under review. After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Partner, they're less than 2 minutes ago in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York.
380.
Back to throw, Bortles. Comes off to Powell. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Bortles going to come up here on 1st and 10. And he's up to 7 for 7 now on this drive alone.
380. 380.
Bortles to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Bortles on the give to Fournette. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
One final try now for Bortles. And he completes it to Westbrook. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone, but anytime you're outside of the 10, that's tough. Trying to draw up a final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.
It certainly is. So what they were looking for was, extra time. Too bad it's not FIFA soccer, right, where you get a little bit of extra and you get a chance to run a couple more plays and maybe get closer and take that last shot into the end zone.
So for Indianapolis, they did what they needed to do. They split their first 2 road games